Okay, so you can feel it in the air, right? It's getting a little crisper, the days are getting shorter, and you're looking out at that amazing jungle you've grown on your patio all summer long. And the thought hits you, I've got to save them from the cold. So you grab one of your favorite pots, ready to bring it inside and find the perfect sunny spot. But wait, seriously, stop right there because you are on the verge of making a massive, and I mean catastrophic mistake, one that could spell doom for every single houseplant you already cherish. That's right. That plant you're holding isn't just a plant. Think of it as a Trojan horse. It's a living, breathing ecosystem full of little hiding places, and it is very likely carrying a secret destructive army of pests. See, in your effort to save this one plant, you could be kicking off a full-blown invasion. We're talking about the big four, the absolute wrecking crew of indoor gardens: aphids, spider mites, thrips, and scale. They're all hiding in there, on the leaves, in the soil, just waiting for their big moment. So you might be asking, what's the big deal? Why is this so dangerous? Well, it all boils down to this really important idea called the predator gap. Before we get into the how, you have to understand why your cozy home is basically the perfect paradise for these pests. So just look at the difference here. Outside, things are a balanced war zone, you know? Ladybugs are munching on aphids, a good rainstorm washes off mites, the wind blows things around. But indoors? Whoa. Indoors is a climate-controlled, predator-free, all-you-can-eat buffet. You've basically given the enemy a 5-star resort with no checkout time. And trust me, they will take full advantage of your hospitality with terrifying speed. A spider mite population you could barely even see outside can literally explode into a colony of thousands in just 10 days indoors. And from that one plant, they'll spread to your prized fiddle-leaf fig, your monstera, everything. This is why we need a total mindset shift. This is not about just wiping down a few leaves. This is a full-on biosecurity procedure. Your goal here isn't just cleaning, it's complete and total sterilization. And that brings us to the main event, our battle plan. We're going to walk through the 5 absolutely essential phases you need to follow to secure your home and bring your plants inside safely. All right, phase 1 is triage. And honestly, this is the hardest part. You have to be ruthless. Don't fall for that sunk cost fallacy, thinking, but I watered it all summer. Doesn't matter. If it's an annual that's going to die anyway, if it's looking sick and weak, or if it's already crawling with pests, it goes straight to the compost pile. Be strong, it's for the greater good. Next up, the great pruning. Look, your plant can't support all that lush leafy growth in the lower light of your home anyway. So cutting it back by about 1/3, maybe even half, does 2 amazing things. 1, it helps the plant survive the transition, and 2, it brilliantly gets rid of countless hiding spots for pest eggs. It's a win-win. Phase 3, the physical assault. Before we even think about chemicals, we're going to use good old-fashioned physics. A strong jet of water from your hose is your absolute best friend here. And the key, the secret, is to hit the undersides of the leaves. That is prime pest real estate. This one step, seriously, can physically knock off up to 90% of adult aphids and spider mites. So many people forget this soil, and that is a fatal, fatal mistake. The soil is basically a bunker for ants, earwigs, and all sorts of larvae. You've got 2 main options here. The gold standard is a total repot. Get rid of all that old soil and put it in a fresh, sterile mix. But for plants that are just too big for that, there's the dunk method. You submerge the entire pot in a bucket of soapy water for about 20 minutes. You will be horrified and a little bit satisfied by what comes crawling out. Okay, now it's time for the final treatment, a little chemical warfare. The organic approach uses something like neem oil, which is great because it suffocates adult pests and messes with their ability to reproduce. The synthetic, sort of fire and forget option, is systemic granules. You sprinkle these in the soil, and they basically make the plant itself poisonous to any pest that takes a bite. But, and this is a huge but, never use systemics on anything you might eat, or if you have pets that like to chew on plants. Seriously. And that brings us to the most critical, most important, non-negotiable step of the entire process: quarantine. You see, you've killed all the adult pests, but their eggs are notoriously tough and resistant to sprays. You must put your treated plants in an isolation zone, a separate room, the garage, somewhere, for at least 2 weeks, but a month is even better. You're on watch, waiting to see if a second wave hatches. Whatever you do, do not skip this step. So while your plant is in solitary confinement, what exactly are you looking for? Let's do a quick rundown, a little dossier of the most common enemies you'll be trying to spot. Here are your usual suspects: You've got aphids, those little green or black bugs that cluster on new leaves and leave behind a sticky mess. Then spider mites, you'll know them by their fine, dusty-looking webbing. Thrips, they look like tiny moving splinters, and they leave silvery streaks on the leaves. And finally, scale, which just look like hard little brown bumps stuck to the stems. Keep this guide handy when you do your inspections. Okay, so you did it. The plant is clean, it's out of quarantine, congratulations. But you're not quite done. Now it's time to manage the inevitable shock your plant is going to feel, moving from the bright, humid world outside to the darker, drier world inside. And let's be real, you are going to see some shock. Be prepared for your plant to drop maybe 20 to 40% of its leaves. This is normal. Do not panic. The plant is just being smart. It's shedding the extra solar panels it can no longer support in lower light. It's just rebalancing its energy budget for its new home. So, to help it get through this, your new care plan is super simple. Number 1, reduce your watering. It's just not as thirsty now. Number 2, increase the humidity if you can, maybe with a pebble tray or a humidifier. And number 3, stop fertilizing completely. The plant is going into a kind of semi-dormancy for the winter. Just let it rest. I know, this whole process seems like a lot of work, but I want you to remember this quote. The only thing harder than this protocol is spending your entire winter trying to eradicate an infestation that has spread to 50 of your other plants. This work up front is your insurance policy against a catastrophic war leader. So as you're standing there with that beautiful potted plant ready to bring it inside, you really just have one choice to make. Are you going to spend an hour on prevention now, or are you willing to risk an entire winter of war against an enemy that has taken over every single plant you own? The choice is yours.